Hello once again, my dear children. Remember the last time I said to you, do a cross using a heterozygous tongue roller with a non-tongue roller? Did you get it right? P1 phenotype, tongue roller cross non-tongue roller. Genotype, capital T, small t, cross small t, and meiosis, and use lines to come down here. Here I would prefer 2 lines. Then you could draw your Punnett square as I taught you. Here they didn't show you, they just said, if that one made that one, you'd get that. If that one made that one, you get that. So they didn't show you all 4 possibilities because 2 of them were identical and the other 2 were identical. Phenotype, I wouldn't expect you to do this, neither would I expect you to do this. I would have expected this under fertilization. Genotype, you would have said that 50% heterozygous tongue roller and 50% homozygous non-tongue roller. And for phenotype, you would have said, once again, 50% tongue roller is to 50% non-tongue roller. Okay, and there are several other problems on complete dominance, but I'll leave that to you to explore. Today, we're going to be looking at the concept of incomplete dominance, and as the name suggests, neither allele is dominant. Okay? Neither allele is dominant. In complete dominance, one allele was dominant, the other is recessive. Now, because neither allele is dominant, you'd find that in the offspring, there will be an intermediate phenotype in between that of the parents. I always say this to the children. It's like having a husband and wife who can't decide between putting brown color paint on the wall or white color paint. And so they come to a compromise. They mix the white with the brown and they come up with a somber light brown. No. And in that case, neither was dominant and you came up to an intermediate or an in-between physical appearance of the paint being like light brown. The same thing with incomplete dominance. Neither allele is dominant and the offspring would have an intermediate phenotype. There we go, intermediate phenotype. So let's say if you had black and white, what is in between? If I put black and white together and mix it up, you can quickly go into your kitchen and take something that's black and white and mix it. I'll wait for you. Okay. Gray. So the intermediate phenotype is gray, and that is an example of incomplete dominance. Now, because neither allele is dominant, my darlings, you cannot use a capital letter and a small letter. Both are having their say, so you'll use 2 capital letters. Okay, so let's look at this example. A homozygous snapdragon plant with red flowers was cross-pollinated with a homozygous snapdragon plant with white flowers. Homozygous, 2 identical alleles. All plants that grew from this cross had pink flowers. Show this as a genetic cross. No. So P1 phenotype, red cross white. You're not going to write snapdragon plant with red flowers. You just write red cross white. Homozygous red, capital R, capital R. Homozygous white, capital W, capital W. Once again, you follow, and all your gametes here would be capital R. All your gametes would be capital W, and thus the genotype of all the offspring would be RW. In other words, they are heterozygous pink. I would expect you to write down heterozygous pink. In the fertilization, I would expect you to write capital R, capital W, not as is illustrated here. And the phenotype, 100% would be pink. Phenotype is just a physical appearance. So notice, my darlings, in incomplete dominance, you only use capital letters. Great. What then is codominance? Mind you, the easiest thing about incomplete and codominance is that you use the exact same letters. The only thing that changes is the phenotype. Same thing. And if you think I'm lying, let's look at it. Codominance is different from incomplete dominance. Let's go back to that husband and wife, where one said brown, one said white. And they came to a compromise, and it was like a light brown that they put on the walls. But with this husband and wife, if one says brown and the other says white, no compromise. No compromise. And in blending them, but they can come to a compromise where they say, oh my God, we're not going to kill each other here. You want to have your say, you want to have white? Okay, go ahead and have white. I'll have my say, I want to have brown. So they decide on a wall that is white with brown stripes. Both have their say. So with codominance, each allele for that characteristic is equally expressed in the offspring. So if I have red cross white, red flower cross white flower, what do you think my offspring is going to look like? Yes, a flower having red with white patches or white with red patches. So there'll be red and white in the flower. What a lovely thing. So once again, we're looking at representing it. A plant with white flowers crossed with a plant with red flowers, and then you're going to get flowers with an equal distribution of red and white, equal distribution. Notice the cross. Looks familiar? Yes, identical to incomplete dominance. The only thing that changes, can you see pink here? Flower with equal distribution of red and white. Great. So when you are given questions on incomplete and codominance, sometimes they may not tell you it's incomplete dominance or codominance. You've got to work out, and you can work it out by looking at the offspring. Great, my children. Let's look at a particular question, and I'd expect you to answer it before I meet you in the next lesson. What would happen if I cross a heterozygous flower with equal distribution of red and white with a heterozygous flower with an equal distribution of red and white? In other words, this flower, this plant with this flower, cross another plant which bears the same type of flower. What would the offspring look like? Give me the genotypic and phenotypic ratios before I see you in the next video. To recap, I want you to cross a plant with flowers with equal distribution of red and white with another plant with flowers with equal distribution of red and white. Clue, genotype would be RW cross RW. Have fun until I see you again, my dear children.